I just made $50,000 on this FSBO deal on Zillow. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I found this deal, how I got the seller from a $170,000 FSBO price on Zillow to $115,000 on a contract. I could have made $40,000 or $30,000 on a wholesale deal. I ended up actually closing on this and throwing it back on the market a month later and selling it for $170,000. Made $50,000 in profit. I'm going to show you exactly how I walked through with the seller and actually how I got the seller from their $170,000 FSBO price down $55,000 with the power of rapport and asking these 4 important questions, and actually how I got $50,000 on this deal. So before I actually show you how I made $50,000 on this FSBO deal and how you can do the exact same thing, please smash that like button and subscribe so we can help this YouTube algorithm so I can show you more of these crazy deals that I'm doing for you guys. So let's get into it. Let me show you exactly how I got this deal. Okay guys, so I made $50,000 on this wholesale deal. So let me give you the quick background of it. I actually had a seller call me on a direct mail piece. It was actually the rapid offer system postcard. We kind of offer on there, but I'm just gonna make it really quick for you guys. So they called me on a direct mail piece. I actually have this property listed as a FSBO, which is a for sale by owner on Zillow for $170,000. Initially, when I get a FSBO call like that, I'm like, great, $170,000. How am I even gonna get them down on price? The Zillow's at like $165,000. There's no way to make money, and most wholesalers quit at that. If it's a for sale by owner on Zillow, they absolutely don't want to market to it and they think it's just a waste of a lead. And I'm guilty of this too. I truly believe that was the issue too, but I actually wanted to dive deeper with the seller and see if there's something that I actually can do to actually help them, because if they're doing a for sale by owner, there's a reason why they're not dealing with a realtor. There's also another reason why they're calling an actual investor like me. I did a deep dive on it. I did a deep dive on their motivations, their time frame, and everything like that, and I really got some more motivations. And after talking to him on the phone with that direct mail, I knew I could have helped him with it. So let's go into the property really quick. Let me show you what I was thinking with it and actually how I got the conversation going to bring them down over $55,000 from their Zillow FSBO price all the way to my wholesale contract price. So let's get into it. Let's walk through the property. All right guys, so here's the house right here. So let's go in it. Let me tell you exactly what I saw inside of the property. All right guys, so this is the house. I mean, it's a little older, but it's actually in really good condition, just for a house built in the 70s. So this is it guys. So obviously the flooring's a little messed up, it's a little dirty. So yes, this property was on the Zillow as a for sale by owner or a FSBO for $170,000, and I locked it up for $115,000. Literally insane guys. So I walked to the property here with the seller, and obviously, why would I even go on this appointment? I think if you go on appointments with the average FSBO trying to buy the property for a deep discount, it's not going to work. The reason why I actually came on this appointment and the reason why I actually locked it up for such a good price was one thing, and that is motivation. Again, the 4 most important things when you actually go meet with a seller and talk to a seller, if they're an actual motivated seller, again, is you want to know their motivation, their time frame, the condition of the property, and lastly, their price. So obviously the price was too high, but I looked at the other 3 criteria and I kind of dove deeper into it because they called me on a direct mail piece. So what I did was I talked about their motivation, and they needed to sell their house. And obviously that's why they did a for sale by owner. They didn't want to deal with a realtor, and they didn't really know about cash solutions, sort of like what I did. So I went deeper on their motivation. They actually had to buy a piece of property within a month. They had another wholesaler lock this property up for $160,000 trying to sell it to a cash buyer, and it just didn't work. And now the cash buyer got out of the contract and they're screwed. They have to move into their new house within a month. The seller had a new job, they had a family, it was super stressful for them. That goes on to the next thing here, which was the time frame. They had to get it done within a month. They got within a month, they wouldn't have enough money to buy this new house that they needed to get their job. And it was very stressful because they would have lost their job without me actually helping them out in this situation. And then lastly came condition. Now for $170,000 for Zillow as a FSBO, this property needed a lot of work. So let's walk through the property. I'm going to tell you exactly what I was thinking within the appointment, and we can go a little deeper dive on it. But when they called me and I learned about those 3 things, the condition was a little iffy on it too. I knew this could be a good appointment if I could get them down on price. So I had to build a rapport. So let's walk through the property real quick. Let me show you what I was thinking on the appointment. What I did to sort of devalue the property a little so they understood why my offer was going to be as low as it was, and how I eventually got from $170,000 FSBO to locking up for $115,000 and making $50,000 on this deal. So let's walk through it. So obviously here's the property. The number one thing I always look for on houses like this, especially on a wholesale appointment, look at the air handler. The air handler, you don't have to be an expert in real estate to really know too much about it, but look at the age on it. Obviously, if I look here, you look at date of manufacturer right here. It says 2008 right here. It's over 12 years old, so it's a little bad. You look down here, look at how disgusting that is. Obviously, they're really not taking care of their air filters there. It's not that good, so look over here. Got closets here. Got the actual bathroom in here, so it's not really the cleanest house. The number one concern I had on the appointment was look at this. This is a big red flag when actually going on a wholesale appointment. So you can see here, it looks like they installed this toilet and the guy did it himself. This is all not done professionally, but they got it in, so I can't really blame them on there. A little disgusting. We're losing handles over here. It's a little bit of a mess, but obviously it could have been a little better. I just go on here's the actual bedrooms, nothing much. I mean, don't get me started on that, just not professional paint at all on this. And we go into this one, you get the same thing. You can really tell when someone paints something themselves because it just doesn't look professional. We got a little bit of drywall showing off here. I mean, it wasn't the best property. And when you're putting a property on a FSBO like this for such a high price relatively to what the thing is worth, you're not going to get the best stuff. So the only person that offered the seller a deal at that price was a new wholesaler who didn't know what they were doing, and they got the lady stuck and they almost had her losing her job. That wholesaler didn't understand how to actually run comps correctly, and they didn't have the right type of cash buyer. So number one thing here too is you can tell here this is concrete block, but right here is wood frame. So just make sure you know that about the walls there. You see little cracks on the toilet right here. You can tell right here, they didn't install a new one here, but that is from the installation because this backs up to the other toilet. If you come over here too, and look here, this is another red flag when talking to a seller on a wholesale appointment. It looks like they redid something and they just did it themselves. Always go underneath too and look for any leaks when it comes to that. When you're looking at the plumbing and you see something like that, that's another thing you can point out to the seller to get a better price on your wholesale deals. And that's really it looking through the property. I mean, overall in here it's pretty clean. Obviously I look at the roof a lot, making sure there's no spot leaks or anything like that. Here's the kitchen. I mean, it's interesting, it's got a backsplash, things like that. It has an enclosed garage here, everything like that. So this is the enclosed garage, had a permit for it. So it looked overall pretty nice. So when I was talking to the seller, I really didn't know what price to really think, because if I offered them like $120,000 off the bat, or even $100,000, I don't know if they're going to kick me out because their FSBO price was $170,000. So I kept talking to them. They actually had some stuff hanging up inside the property. The guy was a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers with him, and it kind of built more of a rapport going into there. When it comes to building rapport, the most important thing again is to think about the FORD method. F-O-R-D. F is for family, talk about their family. O is about their occupation, talk about their occupation, what they do for a living. R is recreation, what do they like to do for fun. If you see boats or something crazy like this, that's a good conversation starter when you're actually trying to build a rapport with the seller. And D is dreams. What are they trying to do in the future? What are they trying to do with their family? What do they really want to do? So I was having a great conversation with them. They really need to get rid of this property in a month, and really time was of the essence on this. And obviously going out here, I was seeing some more issues too. You don't have to be the wholesaling expert to devalue a house to really get a better price. But obviously look here, the pool needs to be resurfaced, and there's a big hole right here. I don't even know what this hole is from, but it could be a flying saucer. I have no idea, but it looked like a mess. That shed right there was not permitted, and you come over here, the most important part that I actually got a $20,000 reduction from the seller instantly was when I pointed out this one thing out on the house. So if you look up here on the roof, you can tell that there's some new tiles, they're replacing some, and the shingle's all messed up. And if you come over here, here's another clue I found. He was using some of these shingles too to actually manually fix the shingle problem himself. It was a mess. Like, look, I haven't touched this thing. He had the knife, he's personally cutting them out himself. He's using some from up there, he's using some from there. It was a complete mess. You can even see another clue on here. He literally had a ladder. So at the end of the appointment, I sat down here in the kitchen. They had a table. We sat down, I talked to the wife and the husband there, and I really understood their situation. They had to get rid of the property a month. The average realtor could not get that sold with inspections, appraisals. They just couldn't get it done within a month, and I was the only person that actually could do it. A wholesaler couldn't get it sold within a month. It was too much of a situation. So I honestly sat down with them. I really explained this. So I had a really good rapport built with them. I also truly explained the actual difficulties of closing within 30 days. And lastly, I told them about the issues on the property, which they really didn't know. The wholesaler they had to deal with wasn't really knowledgeable and couldn't really explain the issues with the house. And most importantly, they weren't confident on their appointment with the actual seller, and that was a huge turning point for them. So I sat down with them, I explained, I'm probably gonna have to buy this property for around $100,000 to get this done. And I said $100,000 because I thought in my head, if I locked this up for $140,000, I could sell it for $160,000 in the wholesale and make 20K. But I said to myself, I'm gonna go for a no here. I'm gonna say an offer, and my goal is for them to say no. So I said $100,000. I thought that was such a stupid low offer. So $100,000, guess what they said? They said, no way. I can't sell that property for you for $100,000. I need more money. I said, well, why don't you just go list it with a realtor then if you need more money? They said, we can't because we have to sell it within a month. I said, well, why don't you try to bed it up with a million other people? They said, well, people can't close within a month. I'm like, well, this is the situation you're in. You can close with me or you can risk something else. And they really thought about it. They said, Zach, if you can do $120,000, we can really get something done. And I said, you know what, if we could get something done for $115,000, I think that would probably be the best. And we shook hands. I actually got a contract out. We signed the contract for $115,000, and boom, I got it locked up, and we actually closed on this property. I didn't want to risk it with a cash buyer, with the seller, because the cash buyer reneged on me, then I'm sort of screwed on it. So I said, let me just close on this property. I think I could actually sell it for around $170,000 if I fix some stuff up on the property, and I think I could make around $40,000 to $60,000 on it. So overall, we closed on the property, and voila, we're here. So again, walking through the property, I didn't do much to it. I actually fixed a lot of the more important issues. There's a little bit of cracks that we fixed. We had to clean the property up a lot. Trust me, there's a lot of cleaning. We had to replace parts of the pool pump. We had to fix some of the well water issues on there. There's some other plumbing issues. So we fixed some of it. We really spent $1,000 fixing everything up. And at the end of it, so we closed it for $115,000. I would say I spent around $3,000 overall with everything, just closing costs, renovations, everything like that. Put around, I'd say $118,000 we were really into the property for, and we listed on the market for $179,000, and we're really going to see what the market would give us, because we fixed it up a little bit, and we actually have a really good realtor, and we wanted to take our time selling this. And so we started getting offers. I actually got a couple offers at $120,000, got a couple offers at $135,000, and I was like, oh my gosh, I might get screwed on this property. And then I got a couple magical offers about a month later for $160,000. And I thought, I was like, wow, I can't believe we did that. So I actually got that person under contract. They went through the property. The inspection came back that it was okay. It needed a little bit of work, and they backed out of it. And it was a little stressful, but overall we kept hammering through, and we actually got another offer for $170,000 for a person actually going to get it for a rental property. So we ended up signing a contract for $170,000, and that's it. So today's actually the last walkthrough on the house. I didn't really bring my camera because I've been a little busy lately just buying and selling other properties. So overall, selling it for $170,000, $118,000, let's say here and there with taxes, things like that, we're going to make around $50,000 on an actual FSBO from Zillow. So I hope this is a really good lesson for you to learn. Not all FSBOs are throwaways. I might have been able to wholesale this, make $40,000, $30,000. Ended up wholetailing it. Again, wholetailing is when you actually close on the property yourself. You put at maximum $2,000 to $3,000 of renovations in, and then you throw it back on the market for the highest bidder. And that's what we did here. It's really wholesaling, just with retail. And so we ended up making $50,000 in profit on this one. Again, I don't record every single wholesale deal that we do, but I record each one that I've learned an important lesson on. And the most important lesson in this video today is to know, don't give up on FSBOs. If you have a FSBO, think about the 4 things when talking to the seller. Talk about their motivation, their time frame, condition, and price. If you get 3 of the 4 things on there, you might be able to get the price down even further, and it could be a really good wholesaling deal for you. So I truly appreciate you guys watching this video, looking around these crazy little properties here in Florida. I got my long sleeves on, it's in the 40s, I'm freezing my butt off for these type of videos, so if you could do me a big favor, please smash that like button and subscribe. It'll help me out, help the YouTube algorithm so I can provide more free content for you. Again, keep hammering on your FSBOs and keep grinding, guys. I truly appreciate it. Have a blessed day.